next tweet. This is actually kind of interesting. This is ClickUp. This is another one of the companies that I really like. I was a big ClickUp fan. We're going to talk about moats. I was a big ClickUp fan until I realized one day, for my personal usage, it was too heavy, and I made an app using Supabase that basically replaced my usage of ClickUp.
Wow, you killed it fast.
I killed it for me. Exactly. Now, ClickUp does a million things that I didn't need it to do. For me, a well-designed Postgres database and a CLI in front of it was what I really needed. Yeah. But this is cool. I like ClickUp CEO, Zeb, and he has a very signature style of these very loud Hawaiian shirts and whatever. But he's good. So this is good. And one of the great things about ClickUp is that you can get a real person on the phone quickly. And so this bug reports here, this is interesting. So basically what happened is someone went to clickup.com. They opened the page source. They found an API key. Let's see if we can pull up here it is. They found an API key here. Oh gosh. And then they ran one request on that. And then they got a bunch of customer data back from ClickUp. So they reported that, and then ClickUp paid out the bug bounty. They acknowledged it. Look at that. The CEO responded, saying you have the right intent to your work. You're immediately responsive. This was a miss on us. Taking responsibility, the most important thing you can do in business or personal context. Take accountability. He did that, and then paid out a bug bounty. So from the AI perspective, where does this fit in? Was this a vibe-coded mistake, or what happened?
I'm not sure about the root cause analysis, but what really stood out to me in this response and in this event is because I follow InfoSec communities, and this person in particular has been fairly active in reporting a few things. He has gotten some pushback for some early disclosure on one particular vulnerability where he tried to contact someone, didn't kind of let enough time pass before kind of publicly announcing. But that's kind of the main thing I wanted to talk about is this kind of public discourse on vulnerabilities and the fact that X has become important for that. There are bug bounty programs and they are deficient. Part of it is because of AI slop, volume, overloading, and so it creates a triage burden. It sometimes needs to be escalated publicly. Part of it is because maybe improper training of the people that are managing those programs. But part of it is companies messing up, and they have to kind of own up to that, and they have to revisit the process. So this was an excellent example of that, where maybe initially they didn't triage the issue correctly, they didn't respond, but then they course corrected and they owned up to it. This is in stark contrast to Lovable. So that was kind of the other thing that I tied in together with this, is Lovable had a severe issue that public projects were fully public. Not just that the site that you created was public, your conversation history was public. If you put in API keys in there, those were public. And their initial response to that was, oh, this is a documentation issue. People misunderstood what public meant, but we haven't been breached. This isn't a bug. Then it turned out that it was a bug, where they had changed it at one point, and then they oopsed some configuration change that reverted that change. And so it was undesirable behavior that was happening. And they had to do several rounds of getting roasted publicly to finally have their CEO come out and mea culpa, say, gee, we messed up, and we messed up in our response to how we messed up, and we need to do better.
So it turns out that trying to gaslight your users into saying, no, you read the documentation wrong. That doesn't work. And even if you are technically correct, and say, okay, like by some legalistic interpretation of the law, you could see how you could argue that doesn't work. That's bullshit, right? You just come on. We all know what you meant.
And
the law
part
doesn't
of
work
this is
that way.
like there's this desire to PR spin everything, and so I feel like it's kind of a knee-jerk reaction for companies to say, no, this isn't serious, like we're on it, don't worry, don't panic, everything's good. And I think that people are starting to realize it's better to be on the other side of that, of an abundance of caution, an abundance of taking responsibility and being publicly accountable. And that ends up aging better than the spin.
Okay, Unity AI.